The member for Canning.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. My question is to the Treasurer. Will the Treasurer explain to the House how the Morrison government's stable and certain economic leadership and financial management is equipping Australia to deal with the challenges that we face as a nation? And is the Treasurer aware of any alternative approaches?
The Treasurer has the call.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. And I thank the member for Canning for his question. He is a person who has served Australia with distinction in uniform, and he is concerned and focused on ensuring that Australia retains its strong economic management, Mr Speaker. Now, when we came to government, unemployment was rising, investment was falling, $240 billion of deficits had been accumulated, Mr Speaker, and the budget was a mess, Mr Speaker. The budget was a mess. In fact, the Labor Party, even when they enjoyed iron ore prices, which had risen to $180 a tonne, more than double than what we see today, they still couldn't deliver a surplus, Mr Speaker. The last time the Labor Party delivered a surplus was when the Berlin Wall was still standing in 1989, Janet Jackson was top of the pops, and the member for Rankin was in primary school, Mr Speaker. The member for Rankin was in primary school. So you can imagine my surprise when I picked up that historical fiction, his book called Glory Days, when it was written the following. This is what the member for Rankin wrote. One of the least heralded but most important acts of the Rudd and Gillard governments was the budget repair we achieved, Mr Speaker. One of the least heralded but most important acts of the Rudd and Gillard governments was the budget repair we achieved. Well, I have a message for the member for Regan. It was least heralded because it didn't happen, Mr Speaker. It didn't happen. And since we have come to government, the economy continues to grow. Our AAA credit rating has been maintained, Mr Speaker. The current account is in surplus for the first time since 1975, and we have the first balanced budget in 11 years, Mr Speaker. The first balanced budget in 11 years. And the reason why we have a balanced budget is because we have a record number of Australians in a job, Mr Speaker. We have had for 3 years, every single month we've had jobs growth, Mr Speaker. The employment growth is now more than 3 times what we inherited from Labor and more than twice the OECD average, Mr Speaker. The reality is, when Labor was in government, unemployment was 5.7%. Today it is 5.2%. Mr Speaker, a strong budget gives us resilience in the face of external shocks. A strong budget allows us to spend more in the areas that need it most, like hospitals and schools and drought support, defence and mental health. Mr Speaker, only the coalition can be trusted to lower taxes, create more jobs and deliver a strong budget.